Ladies and gentlemen, the Durham Probe Special Counsel is in the news. I'll have some very important segments tomorrow, very, very important videos at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. talking about the Durham Probe and how it is going to be continued by Jim Jordan and others. If you look really quickly, there are numerous articles on Jim Jordan to head new committee investigating the politicization of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So there's a new select committee, a congressional committee, where they're going to investigate the investigators yet again. And what took place with the Durham probe was the following. You had a situation where, in terms of public relations, it wasn't successful. In terms of getting a plea deal, they could have easily prosecuted Kevin Kleinsmith, for example, for falsifying records. They could have, had they done things the right way, prosecuted Michael Sussman, Clinton's attorney, because he actually texted James Baker, "I'm not coming on behalf of anyone," and he was being paid by Clinton. Okay? They could have also, if they prosecuted the Steele subsource on different crimes, um, there was the issue of him lying to the Bureau. So a whole bunch of people were lying, but you couldn't prove it to a DC jury for whatever reason, whether it was a procedural issue. In the Sussman case, they couldn't use the text message. So the defense just got lucky. And the defense also relied, the defense for the Steele subsource and for Sussman relied on the Federal Bureau of Investigation saying, "Oh yeah, we were duped." They were not going to say that because they were in on it. So the big issue here is when you have all of these articles saying, it was political. Yeah, of course it was political. Yes, it helped Trump to investigate those who wronged him. And going after Trump was purely political also. There was politics involved with both investigations. The difference, though, is that Trump should never have been investigated. So when you have the Times article, Barr pressed Durham to find flaws, all there were flaws. Strzok and Page had endless text messages. They were kicked off the Mueller probe, okay, because of bias against Trump. And the inspector general did find bias against Trump. You can watch the short on this channel. He didn't find prosecutorial and testimonial bias. Then you can watch the video that I did prior to this one. There were memos and emails from a Dutch spy agency that showed that Clinton orchestrated all of this. And then they say, well, that wasn't they're not accurate because those emails were from the Kremlin. Well, but they were infiltrated. So what's the point of counterintelligence? What's the point of having intelligence agencies if you can't infiltrate your rivals, the servers or whatever of your rivals? So the Steele dossier was said to be legitimate because it was compiled or the work of a whole lot of people in that country. So they had no problem using foreign intelligence when it came to Trump. In fact, if you read a Guardian article in 2015, the initial investigation into Trump started from tips by foreign intel allies of agencies. So this is intelligence. John Brennan said, "I don't do evidence, I do intelligence," when he was asked. Evidence and intelligence is not evidence, okay? You don't investigate an incoming president based on a hunch or the belief that he could have worked with another country. You have a more than 10, $20 billion apparatus just for those three agencies. Those three agencies, the Bureau, Central Intelligence, and National Security, have what, over a $10 billion budget, all three of them. They would have found emails, they would have found voicemails, phone records, they would have found people around Trump cultivating a relationship with him. They found nothing. I mean, you have to know nothing about politics or intelligence or statecraft or espionage or anything like that to think that two reports, the ODNI and DHS reports, and a whole bunch of media and a whole bunch of nonsense Like there was no intelligence derived from the U.S. government about Trump. That should tell you something. And Chuck Todd even asked James Clapper, and James Clapper said, "Oh, we don't have any evidence that Trump was working with another country," but they investigated anyway. Hit subscribe to this channel. The Durham Probe is back in the news, and look, Jim Jordan and others are investigating how the government was leveled to Trump. So they're going to continue the Durham Probe, and it's going to be Jim Jordan continuing. So that is huge. The Durham probe is going to be front and center. It's going to be very important. And we found out through the indictments that Clinton literally hired and worked with, or her attorneys hired. See, that's the way they do things. We'll talk about that. People to go after Trump. But hit subscribe every day at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific time, every single day in the morning. I will have segments. And ladies and gentlemen, be here tomorrow morning or this morning when you watch this at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific. To my super thank you to the Patreons, to my new Patreons. Thank you so very, very much. It's just so wonderful. Your Patreon support is so important. That's below in the pinned comment and description. And also, ladies and gentlemen, go to hagoodman.com to read my writing on the Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist. I did a lot of uh, work on the Durham probe in the Federalist. Okay, look, the Steele dossier was purchased by Clinton, and I say that look, God bless Hillary Clinton, God bless Biden, God bless left, right, center. It's all good. If you're an American, I love you. I don't care if socialist, communist, never a Trumper. I support Donald Trump, and I'm gonna vote for him in 24. But if you support somebody else, good for you. I don't believe in tribalism. I don't put friendship below politics or politics above friendship, like people who lack character and integrity. I put friendship and family bonds and happiness above politics. But anyway, that being said, it's obvious Democrats and Clinton set up and framed Trump. You don't need the inspector general to decide for you whether there was bias. He explained numerous instances of bias and then said there was no prosecutorial documentary bias. You can actually watch. I mean, you could just you just go on your phone, go to the short section on this channel. Okay, let's see. Which one is it? You can go to the short section on the channel, and it's which one is it's let's see. The Federal Bureau of Investigation does not like Donald Trump. So you have Michael Horowitz explaining all the instances of them disliking Trump. They obviously dislike Trump. Now, what happened was legal, and Durham was not able. See, here's the thing: he thought that he could prosecute the Durham probe the way the Mueller probe was prosecuted, but the Mueller probe was a public relations stunt. They found nothing. They found no interference by anybody. They couldn't quantify how many votes were altered, how many people chose Trump after initially deciding on Clinton. They couldn't do anything like that. And it was a complete failure, but they always fall upwards because you have all the stunning hypocrisy. There was no hypocrisy. They believe they just in a rational and justified manner they believed, and it was true that the bureau and government agencies were leveled against Trump because of people siding with Democrats. New York Magazine, the Durham probe was Barr's witch hunt. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You didn't see Durham going after people just surrounding Biden. Okay, George Papadopoulos, Carter Page, these people were set up and framed. Papadopoulos did not break a law. Neither did Michael Flynn. Neither did Carter Page. Okay, Flynn and Papadopoulos were charged for lying to FBI agents who were in on it and who were apparently eventually, some of whom were kicked out of the bureau. And so you have what was their crime? Their crime was being investigated and lying about a certain date or time or piece of information. And that's without the interview being recorded. So yeah, then Barr pressed Durham to find flaws. There were many flaws. Then Esquire, special counsel Durham, stumbled in a criminal probe of shady Trump deal. Again, these things are, they were looking into a transaction, and then it wasn't a criminal probe of a deal. Trump was not under criminal investigation because of a certain deal mentioned by all these articles. He certainly was never indicted. So if the Durham probe to these publications was a failure because nobody was indicted, what happens then is every single one of the endless investigations into Trump complete and utter failures? Are they examples of just pure politics? Well, they are. They are. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Be here tomorrow. The Durham probe is back in the news. We will do a lot more work. I will try to do a live stream tomorrow. I know there are a lot of people who enjoy the live stream. So do I. I'll try to do a live stream tomorrow evening. Thanks, everybody.